I'd like to let Paul Cass, who was a member of the committee, was leaving the committee at the end of June. And so I'm going to send him a letter just thanking him for his service on the committee. And Roger McDaniel contacted me and indicated that he was going to be putting in a resignation for the committee, from the committee, and be getting more involved with the Energy Navigator.
Excuse me.
Okay, our second order of business is public comment. Are there any public comments? Okay, we'll move on to an appointment with Kim Lundgren Associates. Who are here to talk to us about the Climate Action Roadmap and has some work for us to do.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm Kim Lundgren, founder and CEO of KLA.
The KLA?
I'm the K and the L.
You're the K and the L?
That's right. My team are the A's. Really happy to be here with you. I think you all know we're working with the town on the Climate Action Roadmap. Quick background on myself, in case you're not aware, I have been working in and with local governments on climate action planning and implementation for over 25 years. I was one of the first municipal sustainability directors in the country, started right here in Massachusetts in Medford, and wrote the first climate action plan here in the Commonwealth, also Medford, which certainly in 2001 nobody was expecting that to be the case. I then went on to work with hundreds of local governments all over the U.S. through an organization called ICLEI, ICLEI, Local Governments for Sustainability. And my whole career has literally been local governments figuring out how do we tackle the climate crisis. What we've seen over that time, of course, is that the impacts of climate change, as you all know, have gotten far more significant and are affecting us right here in Orleans and everywhere these days. So as part of that, as I've been doing this work over the years, one of the big things I realized is while we had made some really great advancements in climate action planning, how we were approaching it, how we were communicating it, bringing more folks to the table, setting communities up to actively be implementing their actions, we're still not where we need to be as far as reducing our emissions, and I don't need to tell this group that. So about a year ago, I sat down with my team and we started doing some recrafting, and we created our Action Ready model, which is an action-driven roadmap development process, and that's what we're doing here in Orleans. The focus here is recognizing that differently than my first climate action plan in 2001, right? Now we know exactly what we need to do. We know what works. We have the solutions today. And we have great examples of them being successful. And where we tend to fall down is that the folks that are making the decisions aren't necessarily getting the information they need on the solutions. And so the way Action Ready works is that we leverage a planning process, in this case, to reach out to community members in a different way. So rather than a typical climate action planning project would say, come to the library and hear all about climate hazards and how it affects you. Instead, we reach out to very specific folks, not saying we're ignoring others, but part of this to drive the action is to identify, say, for example, homes of a certain age. Did you know your heating and cooling system could be up for renewal? Have you thought about an electric heat pump? Did you know that an electric heat pump is the most efficient way to heat and cool your home? That's it. Just some information, providing it and engaging them and bringing them in slowly. Attracting them to, first, a hook that's relevant to them, recognizing it's a decision point they're going to make anyways, and then we bring them to a landing page, so it's not a big ask. We'd send a postcard, they go to a landing page. And then it moves throughout an engagement process, which one will come and culminate for particularly your summer residents, but also some of your year-round ones. We will have an event on August 13th at Snow Library, which we will be talking a bit about today and certainly want your help with.
Our second in a month.
Another event?
You're going to be there August 1st.
August 1st.
Oh, good.
We're doing a community solar.
Perfect. So what we're thinking for this event to bring folks to the table, as many folks as possible. We want it to be a fun event. We want it to have, so we're looking into we're calling it the Big Chill, which is kind of a little play on words there, but also to get folks, we're gonna have, I think we're all popsicles, and we'll have learning about heat pumps and cooling your home, as well as learning about solar and other things too.
Can I interrupt? What time of
Please.
day is that?
Yep.
We do 5, was it 4 to 6?
Right now, we have it 4 to 6:30, so we haven't put anything just out there yet, so if there's suggestions, we certainly are open to them. The thinking was, well, it'll be easier when the library's closed, because that's a very busy parking lot. But also, later in the day, so folks after work or come from the beach.
Tuesday, Thursdays, the library's open until 8 PM, so they can do,
Oh, really?
yeah.
On
they can
Thursday?
do
This was a Thursday and it was not open.
Yeah,
Is
there
it
was
Tuesday,
some-
Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday?
Maybe it's just Tuesday then. It's not there's not open Wednesdays, I know that.
Okay, yeah.
But our August meeting is the 13th, John, so we would,
We thought, wow,
Okay.
how about a field trip
Yes,
meeting?
you did say that we could talk about having the Energy and Climate Action meeting be
over
kind of a
that.
joint
Yeah,
thing.
right, okay, great.
Of course, I didn't ask you yet, but it sounded like you might be interested in doing it.
I think we gotta put that together.
So the idea is to bring lots of folks in, get them interested based on, kind of just getting out of the heat of the summer, enticing them with popsicles and other fun family-friendly activities to bring lots of different folks to the table. We'll set up a couple of different stations, and we'll certainly be looking for any interest or thoughts from you all. We had figured we'd be asking Cape Light Compact to come and talk about some of their programs. Table, so basically we'd have a station that's around efficiency, solar, heat pumps, and we thought maybe an EV, little EV, maybe Ira Toyota could bring something
We could bring
over
the town
Or the towns.
F-150 Lightning.
to take a look at, yeah, which is also fun for the kids. And so we'd have the crane room as well as like the parking lot. And I was actually just over there, Mark, and I know everything kind of flows over into the park there too, so we could see if we get a lot of excitement to come to this. And so
Yeah,
again,
just,
yeah,
so just check, Tuesday, you're right, Roger, Tuesday, Wednesday are the evening hours, not Thursday, so
okay.
they close at 5 on Thursday.
Yeah, that's what they said, okay. Great, we got that right. Okay, so that's our big event that we're planning to reach two core audiences. One are your year-round residents, which of course will have more opportunities, but of course your summer residents and tourist folks that are coming through. That's a great way to reach them. We've also identified two other audiences to engage with that will be aiming more for the fall, which will be businesses and property managers. Similar, but a little bit different. We'll be talking to them about slightly different things, of course. And we're still working through those pieces. But the thinking was those are some harder to reach audiences. We're gonna have very specific messages, right? They'll have very specific needs, and the idea is we want to bring to them resources to, lower their utility bills, improve the comfort in their facilities, all of those things. And so trying to engage with those folks once the summer busy time has died down a bit for them. So one of the things we want to ask you all, because you already have a great network and you have a lot of expertise, and I'm super interested, and it might be something more for offline, like I wanted to learn more about how your Energy Navigators program is working, because I've heard some great things about it. But also wanted to, if you're all open to it, I know it's a small group, but I put together these little worksheets, and it's something we do with a lot of our clients where we start to really understand, like, who is it that we all individually influence? Because my thinking is you live here, you've got all the connections. There's no need in us duplicating kind of connections that you all already have. And instead, we want to supplement and support. So if you're open to it, I would love to chat through a little bit. Or if it's just not something you're willing to make time for, then you guys can fill these out and send them back. I can send it electronically as well. But it'd be really great to know what your current network sphere is so that we are complementing it. And so the idea with this is that we just listed kind of different groups and whatnot, and so understanding, you know, how well do you know your neighbors, for example, but then what clubs and boards are you on? Where do you go all the time? Are you part of any type of religious community that you have a connection to? You know, are you on a business, you know, go to a certain business all the time, or do you own a business? So recognizing that we're coming in here, as I said, to leverage what you all are already doing and who you're already connected to, and then how can we uplift that if there's additional materials, but then really focusing in on some of those audiences where, okay, once we looked at your whole networks combined, who are we missing? And then that's what it makes sense to spend money on a consultant for. You don't want to pay a consultant to engage the audiences you already know how to reach, right?
Kim, did you want to put that presentation up on the screen?
Well, we talked a little bit about
Okay.
it, but it seemed like I was trying to be mindful of their time, and
Sure.
they weren't sure if they were, it was gonna be squeaking out a quorum, but it looks like they've got it, so that's it.
Yeah, Is there a more official presentation on the plan, or?
She has a PowerPoint.
I do have a PowerPoint here, it just reiterates what I said. I'm happy to show it, but I also was trying to be mindful of my time with you guys.
Could we get a copy of the PowerPoint?
Absolutely, yeah, I'd be happy to send that over. And we can share it if folks want. Are there any questions about the exercise? Do you want to walk through it, or I see John's feverishly writing such great ideas already?
One day I didn't read that, but that's okay.
Is there something of the target audiences I mentioned, are there, oh, sorry, do you need pens? There's another one here.
I can't be here on time and.
And have a
prepared.
pen, that's fair. That is fair.
That's okay,
There
thanks.
you go.
I mean,
Yeah, just a general comment is, in our activities with the Energy Navigators of the committee,
Please.
we run some public events, and we don't get big turnouts, and we typically are preaching to the choir. You know,
Yeah.
it's people that know us and know what we're doing, and they're there to support us, essentially. And so that's all well and good, but we're not really reaching the 80% of the residents that need what we're providing. And that's been our general, problem to solve, so.
Sure. And you're not alone in that, you should know. I would say most local governments in general and committees have, there's the same 20 people that do everything for the town and show up for all the things. So that's why, that's why I started to describe a little bit about our tactics here and trying to catch people in different ways. And often not with a climate message to start. And that's okay, right? Because the action and the results of that action are the same. And so whether or not we capture them from a climate message doesn't seem as important as the action happening when we're measuring results. Now, I like to bring it in where we're bringing folks in, and once they're interested, then we can bring in a climate message. But I think unfortunately, especially now, there's just so many folks who have just made a decision on their own that this is a politicized topic. And so what we don't want to do is lose folks right away just because we used a certain term, when in actuality, what we're trying to move forward with could help reduce their utility bills, for example. And that is probably something they're interested in. And so that's kind of where that model comes and why I gave you a little bit of my background, because this is based on 25 years of doing this work and trying to communicate with different audiences. We've had a lot of success as a firm, working all over the country, helping communities have their most inclusive planning processes ever. And that's not just climate planning, like they look at every plan they've done, and these are some large communities like Indianapolis, Clark County, Nevada. We brought them their most inclusive planning processes, which is something we're really proud of, and it's because of the tactics that we use here and the messaging to reach audiences in a way that connects with them and the benefits that they will get from taking action, and less on forcing them to have a conversation on climate change right out the gate.
could I add to what
Please.
Kim has mentioned about the action ready piece, and I don't know, I missed maybe at the beginning, but there's this work that's been done by Kim's team to identify the specific homes in the community using the assessor's database and the information from that on the age of potential age of HVAC equipment and the type of equipment they have in terms of oil or gas, et cetera. So it's really beneficial to the town, but also the Energy Navigators group, and like really honing in on the people you're trying to target and aligning their decision points, as Kim mentioned, in terms of when they're going to be transitioning or purchasing a new furnace. Catching them at the right time is really going to be important. So the data behind this plan is going to be really helpful moving forward.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, and that's important to note, and we have done this, this model in 2 other communities. This has been a pilot. This is the first investor-owned utility community, so we did in Danvers and Shrewsbury, which are both municipal utilities. Danvers was long enough ago that we have real results, and we 3x'd their participation in their heat pump rebate program through this. Literally through just targeted marketing. We didn't even do the event that we're doing here. So that was kind of what got me like, whoa, okay, interesting. Folks just aren't aware. And I actually was with my team on the ground in Shrewsbury doing some door knocking in neighborhoods that we had targeted. And wow, I was surprised at how many homeowners have no idea how old their equipment is. You all probably know, as energy navigators, you've seen this. They don't know that it has a shelf life that's much shorter than they think it should be. Lots of those things. So just that education and awareness is something that folks aren't getting. And then because it's just an informational postcard to start, there's no ask. We're not saying come to this. We're not trying to force something down. I think that's part of why it's working. So we're excited to see, we just wrapped Shrewsbury. All the metrics are very positive, but we don't expect a heat pump is going in tomorrow from that. The whole point is we're catching them 1 to 2 years before they're ready for that upgrade, and they've made a plan, now they're thinking about it. Because you all know, no one's gonna switch if there's his system goes out in the dead of winter, right? Like they're just doing, get it in here, bring heat to my house. So giving them that information at the right time is really key.
Yeah, that's been part of our strategy, Energy Navigator strategy as well. And to say, we start off with sort of, have you had a home energy assessment? The answer is usually yes, but you can do it again.
Yeah.
But then also think ahead and plan it. But then we need more follow-up on that, and the targeted stuff can be helpful.
Great, okay.
And we heard through the OCAN meetings that we've been to that, especially before we decided what we were doing with the climate action plan, there was a lot of discussion about wanting the plan to be focused on action, right? We all know what we need to be doing, but we need something to really hone in our action points, and I think this is the answer for that. Well, I know this is the answer for that, so it's going to be a great process, and it already has been, and it's on track, so it's good.
Okay, so does anyone want to share their results or some thoughts, anything that jumps out, or
Sure.
I want to be mindful of your time?
Lead us off here.
Okay,
Okay, so my neighbors in my street, so I'm in a condo unit, and so I'm in a 9-unit condominium. This is, we've already touched on this, but, so they're not really gonna get solar, but they could get community solar. So
That's right.
We're doing a presentation on August 1st at the Snow Library at 2 o'clock on community solar. And our target audience is apartment owners, condo owners, and we have actually a lot of those. You might not, to drive around, you don't recognize it, but yeah, we do. We have lots and lots of people living in either apartments or condominiums. So for those folks, we have our annual meeting next week. I'm going to give them a flyer for the August 1st presentation at the Snow Library so that they come and find out about how they can get on community solar and save themselves 15% of their electric bill annually.
great.
For clubs, boards, and civic groups, so I assist with Nauset Newcomers, which is not just Orleans. It covers probably 5 or 6 towns down here in and around Orleans, and they have a monthly meeting from September through May, and I think that's a great way for us to kind of see if we can find recruitment for this committee, for OCAN, our Orleans Climate Action Network,
Okay.
for the energy navigators. So I think we're gonna try to tap into that, to get that. I'm in the Orleans Yacht Club, not quite sure how that translates to anything, but it's a place where I do meet lots and lots of people. And then, you know, Orleans Climate Action Network is our connection to kind of the wider community, grassroots side of people that are concerned about climate action.
Great.
I don't really have anything for faith, for spiritual communities, for businesses. The only one I have is the one that I met through the Community Cares Program, which is the Barley Neck Inn. Of course, I live down the street from them, so I'm now at least on a face-to-face basis. He recognizes me, I recognize him when we pass each other. So that's but I know they're like fully on board with things that are, you know, with our push for climate-friendly restaurants.
Yeah, they're really, really good.
That's cool.
And we don't have anything on the professional network side because I just don't have anything like that going on here.
That's okay. I didn't expect you all to have something for all of them, know that. Okay, that's a great list. Does anyone else want to share, or I also want to be mindful of your time? Oh,
I was just going to suggest, I don't know how many people in the Odd Fellows group, but there's like the a group there, and there's sort of homeowner associations, so like where I am, it's not official, but it's private road, and you've got probably 35 or 40 homes. I don't know if that's the kind of outreach you want, but you might be able to spider web
Yeah.
out from that.
that's great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
Council on Aging, is that, you guys might know better than I don't know.
We already offer
You did, yeah, okay,
visitation
yeah.
hours there with the navigators, but
Great,
we've had, I've had one person show up. I don't know if anybody else has done the council on aging hours we have.
I did one last fall, but, you know,
And did you have a person?
Yeah. They had made appointments, so there were, I think,
That's
3.
true. They don't have us come in unless they have appointments.
Oh, that's
True.
cool.
But Tessa and I happen to be in the same association, and we have an annual meeting in August, the Mayflower Point Association. But they try, just wondering, they try to be sort of apolitical, and they might think this is too political. They're very open to the Orleans Conservation Trust, interacting with them, but Tessa's been involved with the association longer. We can talk after about whether we think they would even bring it up at the meeting.
Focused on invasives and native plants, so forth. That's controversial.
That's already controversial, yeah.
Okay.
Just using natives is controversial, or
Okay.
not ordering, or not having a green lawn, so, but that's one thing we can look into.
okay.
yeah, I'm in a neighborhood association that's pretty well organized, and, because they charge dues and they have to repave the road themselves and all, so that's easy for me to reach out to them.
Okay,
And I'm sick of hearing their generators go off and every time there's an outage, but I'm very involved with a program at the library called Friends of Snow Library Lifetime Learning. We've already run programs, we've had Cape Light Compact in, so
yeah,
that's why I say we preach to the choir though when we run those programs. The Baskins Ace Hardware, they've hosted us and they're happy to do whatever we ask them to do, because they can sell things to help people, you know, insulate their homes and stuff, so. And they've always approached us and said, you know, just tell us what else you want us to do, and we'll do
Okay.
it, so.
do you think they'd be open, and we can maybe talk offline too, but maybe being at one of the stations on August 13th to show like how something, or do a little instructional activity?
That's possible, yeah.
Okay.
Because they have their vendors come in and do, you know, like the barbecue company has a big show thing in the parking lot.
Sure,
and
yeah.
Done similar things, so they sort of are in that, you know, mode of having a focus day or something, so.
Okay, cool.
I had two thoughts. One to follow up on John's, which is Nauset Newcomers. They have two other possible venues. They have a monthly meeting, I think it's on the first Wednesday, and they have a nonprofits corner where people can have a table to show, display what they're working on. So it's everything from community theater to something like this or other events. So that would be an opportunity. They also have a guest speaker at their meeting. There's usually a few hundred people that show up, so it's another opportunity to have a kind of a platform approach. I think the other venue, and you again, as David said, you'd need to be sort of selective, but I'm not, but my wife is very involved with the Church of the Holy Spirit, and they are absolutely committed to climate justice and environmental stewardship. They have a solar array on their property.
Oh, great.
Commercial solar array. So that's also, it's a very active community, so that's another venue of people to reach out to.
Yeah.
They hosted Bill McKibben last month.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they filled the place.
Yeah, it
It was
was-
overflow into the next room. which-
Yeah.
Wow.
Hundreds of
Wow.
people, yeah, yeah. So-
Do you think they would do a testimonial about the solar on their roof? Like how it's working for them and
They might, it's actually a ground-based
ground,
system,
ground
and it's,
mountain, yeah.
it's, they certainly might, I could ask Carol and see if Patrick would be interested in.
That'd be great.
doing
We're really
something.
trying to get a lot of those video testimonials so
Yeah.
folks can see like a business just like me, an organization,
Yeah,
a resident,
yeah.
like they're doing it, right? They don't want to hear it from me for sure,
Right.
right? And they want to see
Given
their
the
colleagues.
response we had to the Bill McKibben lecture, I mean, it's not a bad place to see if they would host an event.
Congratulations on that.
And, yeah, they might even host an event. Patrick's very generous, he's the pastor in this. Patrick, he's very generous and committed, he does all kinds of
Okay,
stuff with me, so
amazing.
I will reach out to
Okay.
my man in Havana, sort of.
That sounds great.
Wife in Havana.
And we would keep it very simple, like,
Yeah.
hey, here's 3 questions.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
bring someone in to film, or even just iPhones
Yeah.
work so great these
Yeah.
days, or
Yeah.
mobile phone, I should say.
We have equipment too that we can,
Oh, that's right, you guys have it, so,
whole media team here.
thank you. Anyone else?
I've done this, but
Okay.
I'm very involved in the Energy Navigators as well.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that you were gonna be so actively involved in this. So what I'd like to do is, when you leave, is walk out and try to make up another sort of, I'm not sure how much we can take advantage of your time, but I'd like for the Energy Navigators to, because you're talking about everything that we do,
Yeah,
and we can learn a lot from you, and it's just
And
sort
vice
of to
versa.
make it a little more official,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah.
Grab as much, while we've got you, grab as much.
Well, I do think that, we've been talking about having these smaller kind of roundtable sessions with smaller groups. And I believe it makes a lot of sense for the Energy Navigators team to be one of those, so that you can have this one-on-one discussion about how to be more effective and learn from Kim and her team, so.
That'd be great.
Definitely.
yep, happy to do that. Yeah, and like I said at the beginning, we're not looking to duplicate at all, right? We want to supplement, we want to complement and uplift.
I'm the glass half empty guy, sorry.
Go for it.
I almost said, uh-oh.
I mean, we talk to, the people that we talk to at the farmer's market, and we do talk to a fair amount of people. Either they're the people that have already done it and
Yeah.
almost know as much as us, or they're people who quickly, scutter away. But there's a number of people who are really interested in doing it, but it's just too expensive. And as someone, who's written the checks for these types of systems
Yeah.
in the last year for the solar and some new heat pumps, I mean, the solar tax incentive has gone away. How do you remain optimistic about getting the non-converted to do something?
Yeah,
It's just the reality. I mean, the prices just keep going up. The quotes for heat pumps now are just You know, it's no longer where we can tell somebody, hey, it's, $20,000 to convert your house with a heat pump. It's $35,000 for a lot of houses.
Yeah.
And we're talking about getting the message out, but how do we get across the finish line in Shrewsbury,
Right, and I
Yeah,
mean, a
I'm
lot of
wondering-
it was the timing,
Yeah.
right? That they're coming to the point where they have to make a decision.
Yeah.
So it's one thing, I think historically our space, we're like, everybody, get a heat pump, get an EV, solar, like these are tens of thousands of dollars of investment.
Right.
It's a different mindset when I'm already thinking about a new car. I need a new car. So I've already in my mind or in my bank account, I'm saving tens of thousands of dollars. Same thing with when I'm changing my heating and cooling system. Now, granted, there's gonna be a difference in the price, but it's not like I'm coming from 0 to 35,000. It's more like, depending on the system, maybe it's 12,000 to 35,000, which is a huge
Good.
delta.
I'm glad you're realistic, that's a good.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
really that kind of increment, it's
It
not.
is.
So,
And so then we've got to get to, and it's hard here, of course, we have high electric rates, right? And so getting to that more efficiency thing. What I'm kind of hoping we'll figure out through all of these pilots is like, what is that balance? How much more am I willing to pay to, do the right thing, I guess, I dare say. I feel like I can say in this group, right?
Yeah.
I think many people, there is an amount that they are willing to pay. It might not be this, but what is it? And how can we help them get there and look at it that way? There's also,
or do something for that amount.
or do
Partial,
something. Yeah, so one of the things you'll see and we can keep you all posted on kind of how we're designing this event, but we like to use this good, better, best model, right? So if someone's coming over, like, you know what, I am excited, I want to do something, and we're like, here, get a solar array for $50,000. And you're like, okay, well, I think I'll just go get my popsicle. No, that's not what we want. We don't want to lose them, right? Let's say, okay, well, that's the best. It's okay if you can't do the best right now. What might be better, or what might just be good enough for right now? And then getting them on a path so that they know, you know what, I can't do best right now. I can commit to good. I can commit to that, and then we can work with them to see what does it look like for me to get to better? What has to be true for me to get to better? And then they just start thinking about it from that perspective, and maybe that's 5 years out. That's okay. That's okay, right? Let's get them to good first. I feel like when I say we, like the industry of climate planners, right? We've expect people to make these huge jumps. It's just not feasible. Even so many people in the space can't afford to make those huge jumps, right? We don't get paid a lot of money to do this work, but you make priorities, right? So you prioritize. Me personally, I was on oil heat, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm buying a house with oil. But when we had an opportunity, we were finishing the attic, it was a walk-up where we couldn't finish it, so we rolled it in. I'm like, okay, we're doing this big thing, we're converting now to heat pumps. We'd already had the solar, and I already had an electric car. So I rolled it into that. Was it expensive? Yes, but on top of everything else I was doing, so when you're doing a major renovation, you know that, you're using your home equity line. Now it's more, now it's 30 years out, now that looks a little bit different. So I included it into something that already was big, got whatever rebates I could, and it's just rolled into what I was gonna be paying anyways. And we did it in a way we knew we were gonna be able to afford that monthly payment, but it's because I prioritized that. I knew to prioritize it. Our goal is to, as folks are getting to that place, start planting seeds for them to know when, okay, I'm gonna prioritize it when that happens, but they have to see the pathway. And first, it's a baby step.
It's such a fine line between, my system's 25 years old. It's gonna go,
Yeah,
but I don't wanna think about spending that $35,000. I'll take your piece of paper, and if it, in a perfect world, it's slowly going. The technician is saying, well, you got 3 years left. Then next year he's saying you got 1 year left,
Yeah.
and then, but even talking to those people who know they have older systems, it's tough.
that's where the secondary messaging is key,
Yeah.
right? So our first message is that hook, is that, hey, your system might be ready to go.
Right.
Are you prepared for that? Then, depending on who they are, then there's a secondary message that follows. And it could be simply, you know, if it's a more senior person who does care about things, maybe we bring in a legacy discussion. Because what you put in today, let's say it does last another 25 years. 25 years from now, holy moly.
Yeah, I didn't want to get into that whole
Yeah.
area where there's so many people here who are like, I'll let my kids worry about doing that part. I mean,
Yeah, well, and so that's why you test the different messaging,
yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
But I hear you. By no means am I suggesting what we're doing is going to be easy. But what we can do is bring more people to the table to at least have that first introduction
Yeah.
and discussion. Other questions or things I can offer you all? I know you have other things on your agenda, although I feel like I could talk to you all night.
Yeah, I got a quick one, I think. So for the 13th, how's the word gonna get out on this? How are we gonna?
Yeah, so I was
approach
just
that?
meeting with Amanda Converse, and we were talking through the plan. We're gonna get a couple things finalized with Mark, make sure we're clear on what our messaging is, but we're going with this big chill concept, and the flyer images show a heat pump and popsicles. So heat your home, or cool your home while you're cooling yourself, kind of a concept. And we're working on the fun activities and making sure that we can have available popsicles of sorts, obviously looking to local folks for that, and thinking about the different activities for the children to bring in the family fun. So it's open house style. Folks can kind of come and go as they please. It's meant to have a fun atmosphere and an opportunity to learn. So the kids will have a passport, little book, that they'll go and get stickers at each of the tables, so that'll kind of drag the parents there. And then there'll be a little corner as well for the children, but giving the parents an opportunity to learn and chat.
What's the time of day for the,
Right now, we have 4 to 6:30
Okay.
As the timing. And like I said, it's a come and go style.
right,
So we'll be putting out flyers around into the local shops and the library, on the community boards, social media will go out, and we're hoping we'll be able to maybe reach people through postcards as well.
So, one thing I heard that's different, which I think might draw people in, is you're talking about cooling. You know, we don't often hear the message.
A heat pump for cooling?
Right, so on one hand, there's probably a fair amount of people, because of climate change, there's people who don't have air conditioning, who are on the cusp of putting air conditioning in. So that's the good part. I'm just thinking out loud, the flip side of that is, what we don't want is people putting in heat pumps and only using them for cooling.
Air conditioning, yeah.
Because that's, I'm in the middle of reviewing a heat pump metering study from the utilities, and a certain, 12% or 15% say they're putting it in for heating and cooling, but in the end, they're really just using it in the summer. And some of our early programs, people were sort of cheating the system, and that's what they were doing, so we gotta.
We've seen that as well, where folks are still holding on, or they're using it as backup. Not as many folks have been excited to just jump right off and go 100%. So I think we take it as it comes. My take on it is, I'd rather them get a heat pump installed, and then we work with them on slicing it down.
Okay. And the utility programs are perfectly set up to deal
Yes.
with people who say they're only gonna be partial displacement.
That's right.
So, they know all, and they're supposedly pay less, claim less carbon savings and all that for those, but we really wanna get them to use it for heating, but I like the catch of getting them in on the cooling part. It's just a different approach that I haven't heard.
Yeah, because we
Well-
don't have, not everybody has cooling in this part of the country, right? We did a lot of work in southern Nevada, and when I tell you, they're like, what do I need a heat pump for? It's like, okay, so we call them two-way ACs.
Right.
Two-way ACs there. Like I said before, we want folks to get to the action that's gonna benefit them, and then has a nice co-benefit of also helping address climate change. whatever the message that takes to get them there, for me, I'm message agnostic. It's the action and the results that they feel and then everybody benefits from that matter.
I just wondering, is there any community solar available to purchase at this point locally? Because if there is, you might set a table up and just have them there. Because a lot of people don't understand it at all.
Yeah, that's a good point. We do have a solar table we want.
Yeah, there is, I think, one firm on Cape Cod. I have not reached out to them yet. Wasn't sure if I was going to.
I'm not sure how we feel about private businesses. Do you have a thought on that? We can,
So we have a private.
Public good.
We have a guy who lives in Orleans, Joshua Buck,
Okay.
who's a VP at My Generation Solar.
okay.
You might wanna, since he lives here and it wouldn't be that much incremental time, maybe he would show up.
Okay.
Or one of his people would show up.
Are you gonna invite?
I can reach out to him, but
Okay.
I thought somebody more official, but I guess.
Hey, you're on the committee.
You're on the
Okay.
committee, and did I hear you're about to become the note recorder? Oh, no.
I did not know.
I was
Did you
listening
volunteer
to
for
you
that?
guys.
I did not know
Go in the
anything
beans.
about that.
That's
That
for
would be
later in the meeting.
This
I
is
did
great.
Also, so for the Energy Navigators, so
Yes.
we have the Energy Navigators are meeting this coming Monday on the 13th. So,
Okay.
um,
What time is that?
9 to 11.
9 to 11. So one of the things on the agenda for that is really kind of sort out, well, what things are they going to do? This obviously is where we've got to sort out what it is they do and how they plug in for the 13th of August,
Okay.
and among all the other things they do.
Yeah, and one of the things I'd like to, when you get off here is set up a call with sort of the administrator of that. So we can all kind of talk and see how to make it work. There's already an
Okay.
agenda for Monday's meeting, but it'd be great if you could be there and we could.
Is there a
talk about it. I
virtual
don't know.
option for that one?
Probably not, but we'll figure something out.
Yeah,
Okay.
location.
For Monday, I'm
Push
not
that
sure,
after,
but
yeah.
You mean, how often you meet?
well, it's not a regular thing yet.
Because I was thinking actually, if
Well, we
you're
could set
gonna
up
be
a
here
special meeting.
August 13th, what if we set something up that afternoon before, or morning? Like,
Yeah.
if-
But I think.
Sure.
I'll be here all
But
day.
I think the most important thing is we're gonna be dedicated to having somebody there with a table.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah,
can't
Yeah,
not.
great.
Right.
So
We
Marion
can talk
from my
about
team
that.
will be doing all of like the logistics coordination, and so she'll be reaching out and we'll be filling in blocks and spots, and certainly, as I said, any suggestions of speakers or folks to help out or resources, would love to. I mean, you guys have that, so we're just bringing the people.
Great.
Okay?
Good.
Thank you all so much. It's been a real pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna come out with you.
So you are part of the quorum. So if you go out,
I'm gonna be right back.
I can
Yeah.
give you my, I
Yeah,
can just
no,
write
you're
down
Gonna
my
be
phone
voting on
number.
something?
no.
You
Well,
mean,
you were leaving. the
I'll just
meeting,
write down
so
my
we
phone
were
number for
maybe-
you.
no, I just wanna grab her and get contact information
Mhm.
in the hallway so that I don't lose this. This is wonderful.
If it's easier, I can just give this to you. I think I wrote down everything you all shared, so unless there's anything different on your sheets, then you can keep them and be reminded of who you told me you're gonna connect with. Okay. Oh, sure, I'll just come out right now. Hey, London. So nice to meet you.
So the next thing on our agenda is the assistant town manager giving us an update.
Yes. You want to wait for your quorum to come back in, or is that close enough? Although Roger might want to hear what I have to
He might
say.
want to hear, because. What have I got? Oh, I can, this is not necessarily something on our agenda, but it's not really for any kind of action, just even for discussion. I got an email from Rick Francolini, who is involved with Putnam Farms, and he forwarded to me the permission to operate for the Putnam Farms Barn Solar, which was allowed to connect as of yesterday.
It's up and running, up and running.
It's a 3.9 kilowatt solar array. And I think primarily it's being used to power some refrigeration equipment that's on site. But I'll have to swing by and
Build
get a
up those
picture of that.
credits, and then the refrigeration will suck them up in the summer and build them up again.
Who paid for that? How did we get that funded?
There was a grant, the Food Insecurity, Food Security Infrastructure Grant from the Mass Department of Agricultural Resources, and some funds from the Conservation Fund. So matching funds came from
A
Conservation.
small but important district.
Great.
No, it's great. If you haven't seen the barn, you should pop over there and check it
I
out.
will, we'll get some pictures, I think. So
I'm having lunch in the barn with Rick next week, so I'll let you know how it is.
Like I was flying to Amsterdam, I was at Logan, getting ready to get on a plane, when I got an email from him who said, saying, John, can you help me figure out what we need to say about this solar array and sizing wise?
Oh, when he was doing the grant application.
I was doing it on a plane
Yeah.
flying to Amsterdam. Okay, well, you could ask for this.
Yep.
Yeah, when we go to-
Okay,
Okay,
a couple of updates for you all. EV charging stations. You can now see them physically in each location. Nauset, 139 Main Street, and 10 Old Colony Way. All the hardware is done. At 139 Main Street, we have the meter installed. The last piece is bringing the power down the pole to the handhole and energizing the project. The same situation is happening at Nauset with the final energizing. And the same situation is happening at 10 Old Colony Depot Square. I just got off the phone with Eversource before I came to this meeting because there has been consistent messaging from them that the project has been energized and it's done and we're good to go. And I say, no, we've still got work to do here and all the other locations. So we had a conversation today and there was some interesting discussion about how this is not typical for their projects in terms of having these issues. I said, well, of course it's us that has the problem, but this, I was told it will be done, the projects will all be done by the end of next week. Once the power is down and connected and the projects are energized, we just need Voltrek to come back and program the systems, which they're very much on top of it and ready to do it as soon as they're energized. So we're very close. This is finally, I told Eversource, I said, both of us, you and me, want to end these projects. Like, this has been going on far too long. So we're pretty much there. For the solar projects, the DPW building, we've signed the interconnection agreement, so that project is on its way. They've,
that's a major milestone.
yeah, and no additional costs. So it's, we might need the select board to waive the electrical permit next week. I'm just working on that, but the permitting process is underway. So that project will be done before the water treatment facility and the wastewater project. And those ISAs aren't signed yet,
Okay.
but good progress there.
Is there some update on the wastewater treatment plant site, whether there might be more EV going in?
Yeah, we've explored that, and because it's two different lots, there's no ability to do something over two lots. We can't have one project go over two different lots.
Even though they're both owned by the town?
Yeah, they won't do it. So
We won't do it, or?
Eversource won't approve that project.
I would suggest what we really should be thinking about, so what we've got going forward is essentially a net metering project. That is fine, can stand on its own, but we really should be looking at a follow-on project connected directly to the wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
And-
conversation with the public. If you want to
clear cut that entire
Yeah, I
left side
think,
just
you know,
for some
we have
solar
to
that we
think of
know
this-
isn't going to actually make a huge dent in the facility's electricity use, that's a conversation that we can have. But, you
Yeah,
know,
I mean, I
that's
think you can kind
concerning.
of get an idea of what is
Yeah.
possible, but, you know, this is not a facility that's going away. You're gonna go through
Mhm.
multiple sets of panels there.
Right.
I mean, you know.
But I would say, John, even when we looked at both that entire parcel being utilized for solar, it was a small dent in the ultimate electricity use of that facility. So when we've come to this crossroads of trying to decide, well, which lot are we doing this on? And having this issue with the multiple lots and not being able to cross the lines, one side of that project would be clear cutting an entire forest for solar that doesn't make a large dent in the facility's use. So knowing this community, the decision was to do what we could do on the space that is already cleared. Now, we can obviously continue to talk about what we want to do next door, but
Yeah, I'm not sure that we're at the point where we wanna have that conversation.
no, we're not,
But I
because
think,
these projects need to
you know,
be.
what percentage of the load it is, I think is immaterial. Because if it's only 45%, fine, but then you could go get the other 55% on some commercial rooftop.
But then why wouldn't we
Yes.
do that anyway?
Because we're trying to get this put in.
No,
This is
right,
our
but-
best,
but I'm-
this is our best way of
I
approaching it.
understand,
That's
but-
a lesser
Right,
approach.
but also, on the flip side, again, clear cutting area of forest for something that we could get from a rooftop somewhere else is a conversation we should have.
Financially, having it, owning it on site is
Yeah.
so much better than getting it on somebody else's rooftop they're taking a cut, the solar developer's taking a cut, and we will take a piece of it.
Yep.
You know, but,
Well, we're about to free up other credits too from
yeah,
our
and
new
it's-
systems.
but
and so-
the point being is this is, like I said, not a facility that's going away.
No,
it'll
it's
be
only
there
gonna be
100 years
using
from
way
now.
more power than
Yeah.
we'll ever be close to being able to produce.
Yeah, but that, like I said, I don't think that's really, I mean, many facilities only get 30-40%.
Yeah.
And
I think
And that
we
would
should
not be a
also
reason why
talk
you wouldn't do
about,
it.
we should also talk about alternative renewable energy potential there, right? Using the sludge to produce energy. There's opportunities still for grant funds to explore pilot programs. That could be another way to look at it too. We don't have to just talk about solar. We can talk about other generation options there, so we should.
yeah, would think would be open to all of it. It uses a tremendous amount of power.
Absolutely.
And it's just gonna keep growing.
For sure.
I have an unrelated solar question. About 3 or 4 years ago, we went on a tour of sites that were on the 500-acre watershed.
Okay.
And those of us on the tour, it appeared that there was land and trees just on the other side of the fence from the current landfill solar project, near the back of
Mhm.
Orleans Toyota and all that, where the forest was kind of sickly. And those of us on the tour, from what I remember, were like, this is an area where there's some potential where it doesn't really look like a healthy forest.
Is it part of the 500 acres?
It's part of the 500 acres.
Okay, so you can't add any solar that doesn't produce power for the production of water. So,
Okay, I remember that now.
we're at, basically the project we're building now,
It's
is our
gonna be
max.
used by the pumps, okay.
yeah.
So we couldn't do that for net metering credits for the wastewater treatment plant, it would have to be for the water supply.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for.
That triggers Article 97.
After a few years, I forget.
It's
Thank you.
okay, it's always good to be reminded.
Yeah, I mean, I got to thinking, well, what other place do we have in town that the trees aren't so great? So, anyway, thank you.
Yeah. We could
Just-
put them up
just-
in the dunes, you know?
But just to follow up on the percent, I agree, the percentage of the usage isn't as important as how much money we're gonna save. And, yeah, it may be that this project requires taking down so many trees. It sounds like we could have a few different alternatives. And each one will be a little more appealing by comparison to some of the others. So maybe that's not the one that gets selected, but considering that as one of the options may help us realize something else. But if we only get, 10% of the wastewater usage, that's still a lot of money to save. I mean,
Potentially, I mean,
it's worth it, what?
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not sure how much, but if it's.
To me, I think my opinion is interfering here because I am not a proponent of clear-cutting forests for a minimal financial gain. My focus has always been on a financial gain with a environmental benefit. So that's where my,
Yeah, I hear you.
that's where
No,
my
no, yeah.
position is, so.
But it sounds like it's simply saying it's not gonna be much, so let's not even consider it, is stopping a little too soon.
What I'm saying is, this project that we're working on right now is, we're not gonna be doing that component. There's an opportunity to obviously continue that conversation. And also, let's talk about those other renewable energy sources that
Sure.
we're not thinking of, right? Not necessarily wind, because we know that's been explored, but let's look at this, what is being done on Deer Island in Boston. They're using the sludge to produce renewable energy on site. And there are pilot grants to be able to start that exploration, and it could be something really interesting.
Yeah, this is a never-ending
Oh,
conversation.
yeah, we'll be talking
because
about this forever.
Do you have
in, before you know it, we'll be talking about replacing the panels on the landfill.
I just talked to
And
Maria
how-
Marasca today about there's the plan to soon have to be replacing the panels on that system.
And then what size panels do we get,
Right.
as far as output? I mean, so this,
Yeah.
it's a never-ending discussion, but
Right.
it's,
But the good news is we're on track, things are moving forward. Additionally, I'd add that we have a consultant for the tax forms we are working with. So all of the tax IRS documentation will be filed by them. They've identified that we're in a really good place with what we've done already. We've secured the project, there's no concern about timeline. So we are at 50% with the percentage of direct payback. Except there's a deduction of 15% because it's a bonded project, which is crazy, but
So 15 points out of the 50 or 15%?
15% off of the 50%. Yeah,
But
so 35%, or are we saying
35.
15% of 50?
50% minus 15%.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a first.
What is the reason?
Because it's a bonded project and not paid outright.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's gotta change.
Well,
The
they're
economics.
the experts, so
Yeah.
But I
this
mean-
is all they do, is direct pay, federal tax work, so.
But that's gotta change the way we characterize the payback to the town and all that.
Well, we knew it was 35% off
Yep.
the bat.
We did.
We were
30%.
initially talking 30%.
30%, and then there's the
And there are the add-ons.
10% adder for the US product,
You know?
Yeah, domestic
and
content.
then the
And then the regional.
40, and
dis-
then the 10%
discount.
for the energy community. So you basically get up there and then you get deducted.
But we always assumed the 35.
We didn't assume 100% or 50% reimbursement. We were at the 30% because we didn't know about the domestic content.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
we kind of thought that the regional piece was going to be there because that's,
Yeah.
unless somebody changed the
Right,
rules.
you know, so it's like, oh, great, and then, oh. But I would also add that we've had a discussion about geothermal and ground source heat pumps, and those tax incentives still exist. Those were not eliminated from the big, better bill, whatever.
So you're on the fire station?
So on the fire station, we're having that conversation, and I'm continuing to bring that up every time we talk about the HVAC equipment. we need to be able to access that direct pay. It would really be a benefit for the project. So there has been no decisions made yet on the HVAC.
At the last fire station meeting, which somehow, I think it was on June 15th, we missed that meeting, how far,
We
what
did
what did
not.
they do at that meeting?
What did we do? I meet every week with them, so now I've lost what happened at that meeting. They provided an update, went over site, they had the schematic design, cost estimates back. So that's where they were. So it was a little
It
under
didn't go up.
55.
It didn't go up.
But we have next Thursday, the public information session, public engagement session on the design, exterior design of the building. So if you go on the website right now, or social media, you'll see the post about collecting feedback on the design, and you can see what the renderings look like.
If I'm on the committee, why aren't I getting those notices? I'm on the mailing list for the committee.
It's posted, so if you go to that
Fire station.
fire station banner on the top of the main page, click on that, you'll
So
see it.
next Thursday,
Yeah, next Thursday from 5 to 6 in the Nauset room.
it's gonna be tough. Only gauging.
Well, you can submit your feedback online as well.
No, I was just thinking about the people that got up and said it was ugly.
Oh, no, we've already got plenty of comments. A lot of comments I've received reference that brick is not a Cape Cod native thing. But what's interesting is if you drive around this town, downtown, the middle school, the existing fire station, the elementary school, like, it's a lot of brick. So it's not out of character for what Orleans is right now. And I looked at a picture from 1877, and the Snow Library was brick. So, just saying. But anyway, that's all I have for you
Okay.
right now, and we'll connect further on KLA and the work they're doing, and you'll start to be much more involved.
So you can say brick may be invasive, but it's invasive like hydrangeas.
Yeah.
I did notice that the Chargers, I have to say, it's the first time it sort of registered where they were gonna be at Nauset Beach. You know, it's sort of the
High vis.
furthest away from the beach you can get.
But high vis, everybody coming in is gonna see them.
Okay,
Yeah, well, I think we needed to put them in a place that worked for the electricity.
Right.
And that pole is right there. That power came right to that pole. It's a new pole, but they replaced an existing pole.
right.
So we had to look at, how do we get this power to these chargers in the most efficient way?
Yep.
That's very obviously for
I
this
w-
spot.
I will say, for those of us that have some form of electric car, and I just have a plug-in hybrid that only gets 50 miles, we should really, even though it's not economical, we should go out of our way to try to use those occasionally, just to get the number of usages up. so
Even
that
here,
we
think
don't-
about the amount of committee members that are coming here to this building, and you'll have those chargers right there.
Right.
So while you're sitting in these meetings, plug in.
Right.
Have you guys
I'll be plugging in.
made decisions on rates and all that?
Not yet, but we're doing that calculation. We've got the electric vehicle revolving fund set up now, so all of the funds that come in terms of revenues from these charging stations will be used to pay the bills directly. So it's kind of now removed from the operating budget. So it'll also provide funds for the cost for the software that's continuous, and then we'll build in percentage numbers so that we'll build up funds to potentially replace the equipment or add new EV chargers down the road.
Just be careful as you're building up. You know, I remember 2 years ago when I looked at the ones across the street, it was a little sticker shock back when energy, you know, at the house was 23 cents a kilowatt hour, those were 42. So,
Yeah, I mean,
I know we can't lose money, but
we can't lose money, and there is not a intent to bring in a whole bunch of revenue. That's not what the intention is. It's to be able to maintain the existing now infrastructure that we'll have. The fast charges will bring in quite a bit of revenue because they typically are higher priced because they're fast and they're efficient and they're for people who are on the go, right? They're not necessarily for your residents who are parking at the town hall type of deal, so. I'm really excited to see that one, those two charges and their utilization rates because between Barnstable and Provincetown on Route 6, they'll be the only fast chargers other than the Tesla station at Stop and Shop. So
And
it's,
how are we advertising?
they'll be in the ChargePoint app and they just kind of get added into the atmosphere.
Okay.
If you're an EV driver, and as
You'll
I
find
am,
them.
you will find them. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have to leave, but is there anything else you have for me? Okay,
Okay.
see you soon.
Next item is the OCAN update. Tess, do you have anything for us?
Well, can I give my report from back here? Would that be all right?
Yeah, we should be fine.
Yeah, this is Tessa English of the New Orleans Climate Action Network. We actually been taking a pause as a committee. We'll be meeting again in August. But partly because many of our committee members are active in the other organizations that are more active in the summer, like the Conservation Trust and OPC. So we'll be getting things going again in August, but in the meantime, things are percolating in the background, one of which is a course for the library in the fall. And this is just in the category of keeping the environment and resources in people's minds. This is a Scottish filmmaker, environmental filmmaker, who has been doing a series of films and interviews with people around the world, indigenous leaders and scientists. I've been working in places like the rainforest, the African deserts and so forth, to try to do what they can to conserve species, conserve rainforests and so forth. So he'll be talking about that filmmaking series, We Are Nature is what it's called. And I think it's going to be a really interesting draw for people. So that's it till the fall.
Any questions for Tessa? Just one thing is, if you can, if you could let your network know that we are going to be looking for members for this committee.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to have opening for the committee. We have, looks like we'll be a regular member and a couple of associate members
Okay.
that we're looking to pick up the ads.
All right.
Okay, next item is the committee reorganization. And it's unfortunate we don't not have more than just the four of us. Would anybody care to make a nomination for a chair for next year?
I would like to nominate you to continue, if you're still going to be on the committee.
Second.
Any discussion?
That's not just because we've got somebody, there's a sucker that we can kind of keep going with, but I think you do a fabulous job. And we would lose a lot when we lose you.
Okay. I had previously asked Hakeem, and, and he was, I don't think I put it directly to him, would you like to be the chair? But he immediately turned around and said to me, well, I'll still like to be the vice chair. So I'm not sure that we don't have him present on Zoom. But I am willing to stay on as chair for another year. I don't know what we'll do next year, but
For a lot of us. what we'll do next year.
Yeah, we will have to
Depending on how.
figure out what we're doing next year. And I'll have a discussion with them, make sure I understand exactly how that will roll out. Maybe I can brief that at a subsequent meeting. Okay, is there any other discussion?
This may be the appropriate time for me to mention, I'm gonna be going off the committee. I'm trying to rationalize my time and energy availability and interests, and I want to continue with Energy Navigators and make that my focus. And so I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna stay in touch, because obviously we do this stuff, but I'm gonna kind of drop officially off this committee.
So to do that, you do need to send
Yeah, I
this
know.
out to
I've
us.
talked to Molly.
Okay, great.
At the end of your term or effective immediately?
Now,
Okay.
effective immediately,
Okay.
because my term's got 2 more years to go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. No further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Would you like to vote?
I will abstain.
Do we, is that sufficient?
Yes. Well,
We have a quorum.
we have a quorum, yeah, and then it passes 3-0-1. So yes, that passes. As far as the vice chair, I would like to nominate Hakeem. And I think he's, like I said, he has expressed that he would stay on as vice chair.
Okay. Second?
I second, yeah,
Okay, any discussion?
I think he's great. I think he'd
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous, 4-0-0. So committee clerk. Do we have any nominations for the committee clerk? It sounded like Andy was looking to
move on.
move on from being the clerk. Is anybody that's here want to volunteer to be the clerk for the next year?
When is the transition?
So it would be, everything would be for the next meeting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not ready to take anything on until after September. Maybe in October, I could think about it.
How about if we make a deal that I will do it if I'm not traveling?
Okay.
And if somebody could fill in, because I don't like the idea of doing it if I can't make the meeting. So I will.
So,
volunteer-
well,
I'll
with-
volunteer to do it.
Being shy, several members of the committee, 3 members of the committee, well, at least 2 that would have an interest, I think, Jacqueline,
Oh.
Andy.
I would defer to, I'm only doing it because I'm the last guy standing at the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Any,
If you want to ask them if they mind doing it, that's fine with me.
okay.
Jackie's a better writer even for minutes.
So can I get a motion for David to be the clerk? We'll, obviously we really can't speak to the other members at this point.
Oh, I thought we were gonna table it and ask the others if they wanted to do it.
Okay, we can table this until the next meeting,
Okay.
that position, and Andy will have to hang in there.
Is he staying on the committee, Andy?
He is, yes, it's just, I think he was, after a year of doing it, he's ready to hang it up. Okay, so we'll move on to
So
the
who-
chair's
So
report.
besides Jackie, who are the others? We're not gonna ask, Andy's already given us his.
So Andy is still on the committee, he just,
No, but in terms of who we wanna ask if they wanna be the clerk.
well, it'll be Jackie and, oh, it's gonna be Jackie and Andy.
Okay.
Those are the people that would.
So it's either Jackie or I.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to Jackie and see.
Okay,
Use your persuasion.
Right.
we're gonna move on to the chair's report. Got just, so I know I sent out this community solar event for August 1st. So here's how I'm approaching this. So we do have a lot of these in town. Once you start making a list of them, you realize there are quite a few of these. And I was thinking I'm gonna reach out to the members of the association I'm a member of. John is,
At the Oaks, yeah, well, we'll put it in our monthly newsletter, so it should come out. I'll check with Carol, see when that's gonna come out.
so, we have flyers, and I can get as many flyers as I need, but there are so many different groups of people that we need to target. So I think we're just gonna do kind of leafleting is what we'll do. But like everything from Main Street, where we just created 14 units of apartments, to West Street, where we've got condo units and we've got apartment buildings, Old Colony Way, there's quite a few of them.
But I'll put up flyers at both post, is there 3 post offices? Yeah, 3 post offices.
Yeah, I have one at the East Orleans,
Okay.
down from where I live, but I think the target for these to go out is going to be like 2 weeks out, so mid-July.
Do you have a PDF of that?
Um,
You already sent me one.
I sent you, so in the supporting documents for this was a Word document that you can print out. Oh, I have spares here too.
Is that as spiffy as it gets? Okay.
That's as spiffy as it gets.
Okay, that's fine.
So this is an Energy Navigator event, by the way. So their logo is on it.
Okay.
Because it's theirs. I'm doing it as under the auspices of the Energy Navigators. And I thought, quite a bit about whether I should try to get Lindsay, who is in the Falmouth organization, to come to this thing. I've got a flyer, or the one-page handout on community solar that's going to be something that everybody will get that goes to this. Lindsay's phone number will be on there, and I think that may be as much as I'm willing to do with Lindsay is, not necessarily promote her, but at the same time, I want people to know that, hey, look, this is, of these organizations you could conceivably get community solar with, some of them, Lindsay apparently has access to net metering credits that somebody could get.
So can anybody think of community bulletin boards? I can think of the 2 post offices across the street from the bike path. There's a covered one, and the community center.
Did you, I was just looking at, in my email for it, you sent it as an electronic attachment?
Yeah, it should be, came as a Word document.
So I can reach out to Emily McCann, who does our OPC newsletter, and Ashley Martin, who does the OCT newsletter. They usually comes out around August 1st, but, so they can just put it in there as a, piece in the sequence of, just so, at least it's an audience that might be interested. So we can get it in there, and then I'll see about getting it in the Oaks newsletter as well.
I think the trick here is to really target these because we know where they are.
Right.
It's just getting it, the final 30 yards.
So you want us to
the
wait?
challenge.
You want us to wait until exactly 2 weeks?
Yeah, but it's about 2 weeks out, I think, because, by then, if it's too early, I think it's, may not necessarily get
Yeah.
any.
Well, that'll be about a week from now to send it out.
Yeah. And, like I said, I'm not sure exactly, it could be that these might be stuck under people's windshields if it's not raining. Because we know where they are, we just need to get the word to them, and a lot of them, don't have, there's not like mailboxes we could stick this in, but we definitely know where they are.
Yeah.
We just,
Now, John was talking about Orleans Conservation Trust, Orleans Pond Coalition. In the past, when we've talked to them, we haven't gotten as strong a positive response for our stuff as we had hoped.
Yeah,
So just when you talk to them, if you get a little resistance,
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
consistent with our
Yeah.
past history. We hope that they would
yeah,
want to do it.
Yeah, but this is, like I said, this is Energy Navigators, so we need to,
yeah. So,
it's not us as a committee, it is Energy Navigators.
I'm on OPC, so I work with Emily, and she does a lot of my advertising for Silverado Waters, and so she might say no, but I think she'll say yes. And I work with Ashley Martin at OCT, and with the same thing, could you do me a favor, just put this in your newsletter. Some of the other groups that I included with, it's just the problem, the timing is tough, because a lot of their newsletters comes out the first of the month.
Mhm.
Friends of Pleasant Bay, they may or may not, all these groups are still a little more, conservation or water focused.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a slam dunk. When I've talked to OCT, it's not a slam dunk to get them
Oh.
excited about
Yeah, interesting.
climate change stuff. They
Okay.
actually have some board members who are not
Interesting.
all in on changing
Okay.
the code and things, so.
That's interesting. The other place for a flyer too, because I do this for my events, is as you go out the exit to Friends, and also the library will put something up. So you have to bring it to the front desk of the library, bring the sheet, and then they have somebody who screens it. And especially since the event's there,
Yes.
they'll put it up. They might even put it in one of those little plastic sleeve things and put it right on the front desk, since it's a snow library event.
Friends, do you have to go up to the front desk?
I don't. I just go in and I tape it. So as you're going out, there's like a little glass panel, and so people can see it as you go out. There's always stuff there, and there's usually something that's outdated, so you can, discreetly remove the outdated flyer and put yours right up there.
So
Somebody will do,
You want me to do you'll do Friends?
If you give me a couple of them, I'll do a handful. I can even go to the library, because we go there all the time.
Okay, so I'll do the post offices, the bike path,
Yeah,
and the community center.
yeah. I can do those two, and then,
You can do the Friends and the
yeah.
library.
Let's see, I've got, the other thing I was just gonna mention was that Energy Navigators was at the Firebirds on the 30th. They were kind of trying to sort through, are we able to do this, as a nonprofit? And apparently they worked their way through that, and so we're there, and we'll hear, I think, more about that on this coming Monday. And that is it for the chair's report. Next item is community outreach using Mass Energize. On the 23rd, at one of the Energy Navigator meetings, we heard the description of Mass Energize directly. That was them telling us about what it is they do. And I know I had sent out in the supporting documents the Ashland.org, ashlandenergize.org, which was Ashland's Mass Energize page. I looked at several other community, or at least one other community, and so this is a lot about you being engaged with Mass Energize. But what I liked about it, the presentation that they gave on the 23rd was they not only do they have a mechanism to get things out to people, but they also have content, and are doing it and they're doing events that are Zoom based. So someone wanted to, so you can just run campaigns on a continuous basis on various subjects, and allow them to help you do this education piece that I think makes a lot of sense. The other parts of the website that I thought were impressive was, we had a calendar of community events. And when I looked at Ashland's, it looked like these were focused on things of sustainability and crossed over probably other lines to events that are maybe of broader interest to environmental organizations, not just strictly energy. And then the third part was this testimonial aspect. And I think that's an important part. It's one that, we heard from KLA about them getting something like that. We have this, like, the Putnam Barn solar, that could be a testimonial. And many other things, such as you see things that people are doing, and like, hey, would you tell us how this went for you? I'm thinking of the carport solar that went in near the DPW, on the road that the DPW is off of. So there's a way of getting content that's local content and getting it up on there. Now, all of it takes time, but right now we don't have anything like this.
Yeah.
And we have the Energy Navigator website, but it's pretty much static content.
Yeah.
Anyway, I came away from that meeting with the idea that, this is something we should be thinking about. And knowing that the town has money that it appropriated for the climate action roadmap, which left flexibility for the town to use that this was gonna be relatively small money, partly because the organization Mass Energize is grant funded, as well as the communities that join. Anyway, I thought it made sense for us to bring this to the town manager's attention, that we think this might be a valuable thing for us to do. And I know we've talked about this in the past, at past meetings, and
So you wrote a piece, you wrote a
I
letter.
wrote a letter, it's a recommendation
Yep.
for the town manager, if the committee wants to do that, that says, hey, we think this is a valuable thing. One of the things that we do have to kind of sort out, I think, to make this thing really go, is we have to identify people that are willing to be the connection point, to be able to get the training, and to manage the site for us. And what I seem to remember, there were 2 people that get trained, and so,
I thought they end up putting most of the material on the site, and once a month.
yeah, but somebody's got to say, yeah, we want that. And so I kind of think this is something that can be like a partnership between the Energy Climate Action Committee and the Energy Navigators. And I think it would make sense to have somebody from the committee and somebody from the Energy Navigators, and have them collaborate on this, because it clearly meets our charge to educate the public on energy efficiency, energy conservation, and climate action mitigation. So those three terms I put in that letter, because, that's our charge, and although I haven't heard anything new from
Have you gotten to talk to Mark about
I
this?
have, well, I talked to Mark, I just saw him very, very briefly this past week. I haven't had a chance to talk to him, other than, I sent him everything, but, so I don't know that we're gonna get him. I don't know how frequently he will be at meetings for the Energy and Climate Action Committee. He hasn't said anything to me that he wasn't gonna be here, but he didn't, obviously. he's not.
I'm just thinking in terms of his sense of how the responses from the town managers like to do it.
Yeah. So I've also, the next item is the fourth quarter committee report, which I wrote as of 30 June and outlined that we had this meeting in June, where we got this information, and that, recommendation that, the committee consider this. So even though we have to make a decision here, that I know should get to him
Right. So
and
that,
the rest of the committee, the rest of the
So are we gonna vote on on those two pieces that you
So,
circulated?
so the part for the vote is whether or not we want to recommend we join Mass Energize.
And did you get my edits?
They're not included in that, so
That's
I would
okay.
get them. I did get your
You can
edits,
use,
yeah.
use whatever you see fit, but I'm all for sending the letter with however many wording changes, if any, you wanna make. I think it's make a good point, it's $1,000, then if we're not gonna, it doesn't seem like a lot of money to get what they're offering now that we've heard what they're offering.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's worth sending the letter and see if they'll,
So I
it isn't
move,
fun.
I move that you send that letter.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
I think it's
It was
a good idea.
4-0.
and if you have any questions about any of my suggestions,
Yeah, I'll review them, and if there's improvements, I will incorporate them, and then we'll get this out of here.
It's too bad Mark couldn't have been here for the
Here for
meeting.
that discussion?
Yeah, for this discussion.
Because I know, like I said, we have brought this up a couple times in the past, so
Yeah.
I don't think, I think what's different is that we actually got the briefing and saw the value. And, from looking at their website, it was clear that it's, what drives it is the programming that you want to run. That's what drives this. So making decisions that says, okay, we're doing heat pumps this month, or we're going to do rooftop solar this month, but that's what drives your ability to get this out. And like I said, they have content, which is super. I mean, that's I think the real challenge for the committee is, we're already trying to do all this other stuff. Now we've got to also generate our own content. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly why, we've piggybacked on other people's programs a lot, because, it's just difficult to develop content.
Yeah.
And time consuming.
And time consuming,
It just
yeah.
really takes a lot of time.
Okay, so the next item was the quarterly report, and, so the quarterly report, we haven't done one of these in a couple of years. And, when we had a select board member that was attending every single one of our meetings, I didn't feel compelled to be writing up what our liaison was already probably bringing back to the select board. Not sure if we will be doing this every quarter, it very well may. If we're not gonna get select board attention, we will have to send them stuff, and we will have to, think more about, okay, how do we get their attention on things that we need them to act on? Anyway, so I just went back and looked at our minutes for the last 3 months, including the draft minutes for this meeting, and I just put in the things that we did, whether the activities, the findings. A lot of the findings are about the energy navigators and the community outreach, and then the recommendation was that we consider at this meeting whether the town should join Mass Energize to promote the education of residents of energy efficiency, conservation, and climate mitigation. So that's what I was recommending for a report. I don't necessarily know that we need a vote on this, but if anybody has things they want to either add or recommend that I cover.
I reviewed it, I thought it was fine as is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a short report, but it's going to the select board. If we write long things, they're not going to get read.
I make a
Right,
motion
yeah.
that we accept the quarterly report as written by John and submit it to the select board.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. That's good.
Okay.
What do we have? That's the highest points.
Okay, goals 1 through 7 committee updates. So, goal 1 which was on, looking at construction policy for the town. I have reached out to community development partners here in town, and they were the organization that had, was involved in the development of the Wellfleet Passive House project. And I've asked them, if we can kind of get a dialogue, get some facts and figures about what they did. And so I reached out, they did reach back, and they said, give me some time to go pull that together. So I'm hoping we're gonna get something from them that gives us an idea, well, okay, they did this project, Passive House, what was the additional cost, what are the benefits? And then I think that is then a discussion we take to the Affordable Housing Trust that says, okay, look, this project, you wanna go see it? You wanna look at the numbers? Where do you wanna go with this? Because I don't think, the draft sustainability policy that we reviewed last month didn't really address this, I don't think. It addressed municipal construction, but this is, this is not necessarily municipal construction, it's.
So are we saying because it's affordable housing and the town's involved, they would go above and beyond the current
Yes, stretch code.
code? Because we didn't get the opt-in code passed. This is sort of a gray area.
Yeah,
It's not private home construction or market rate. We would try to have them intervene here.
Yeah, so, they're intervening because they're bringing money to the project.
Yep.
And the question is, can we have them also come to it with some policy, set aside that says, like, okay, the money that we're providing is available, provided that it's a passive house construction. This is an uphill battle, I'm sure about that, but what I'm not sure is if we can show an example that was built here, and we have the numbers and facts and figures on it, whether that would be enough to convince enough of the members of the Housing Trust that they should adopt a policy along those lines. And then, it'll become, okay, if they're in agreement or want to do that, can we get that more codified, maybe in the sustainability policy? But that's all I've got to report is I reached out to them, they acknowledged, I told them what we were interested in, what we might be interested in, and they said, okay, we'll be in touch. So more to follow. Does everybody else have anything on goals? Okay, why don't we move on to any liaison reports? I don't have anything. Okay, we have minutes for the June 11th and June 23rd meetings. Why don't we start with, we'll do these separately. So we have the minutes for the June 11th meeting, Andy put together. Can I get a motion to approve them?
I make a motion to approve the.
Do we have a second?
11th meeting minutes.
Second.
Can I vote on it because I missed both of those meetings, or do I have to abstain since I wasn't here? I read the minutes, they look good, but
I would say you can vote on it. You don't have to abstain.
Okay.
But if you abstain, it probably won't make a difference.
okay.
We still have a quorum even if.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Yeah, since I wasn't here.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Nay or
Abstain.
Abstain, okay. And now, moving on to minutes for June 23rd. This was the special meeting here in the Escape Room on the 23rd. And I'm gonna get a motion to approve those minutes.
I review that. My motion to approve the June
23rd.
23rd meeting with the Energy Navigators.
Second.
And we have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain.
So are the Navigator, the special meetings, are they recorded?
They are posted meetings. Like I probably am not gonna post, I may not post the one from them, but I should, well,
I guess it
I
was
probably
correct.
can't post it.
If I somehow end up as the clerk, are those meetings recorded to go back and listen to?
I think that one was, I
Okay.
think that one was, actually, I meant to go look to see if it was recorded, but it was a Zoom meeting, so it would have probably.
Would have been recorded then,
Yeah, so, yeah, so I'm probably not gonna post the meeting from Monday, because I don't think I got enough time.
yeah. Yeah, that's.
But I also don't think we're gonna do a quorum. I know, I kind of doubt that we'll have Hakeem there.
Yeah. I won't be off the committee officially by then.
Oh,
So
we'll-
you're coming to the meeting. so-
And I'll be at the meeting.
Yeah, so we'll, you know, if we wind up having 4 people arrive, we'll probably have somebody sit down.
Yeah,
But,
we'll figure it out.
okay. Our last order of business is adjournment. Okay, motion to adjourn.
I have one question. Are we having, given that the August 13th, that would be the date of our meeting, are we going to still have our meeting right before the chill out soiree? Are we gonna take the month off, or are we gonna? My other, the Cape White Compact decides not to do.
Yeah, I think what's gonna happen is, I mean, I think we're gonna have the August 13th thing. I don't think we're gonna have a meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what
I mean, like right now, I
That's what
don't
I'm
really
asking.
have an idea of what things we need to do.
Right.
Unless something comes up. but,
Right.
But the August 13th meeting is a big deal for
Yeah,
our mission.
yes,
Right,
it's important to our
right.
mission,
And
for
we're
sure.
all gonna, most of us will go to that meeting, so I don't
Yeah.
think we need to have another.
But I won't
meeting.
post that as, I mean, that's not, we'll be there, we'll be doing things, but.
But do we have to post the fact that we're not gonna have a regular meeting on August 13th is the question? Or we only have to post when we are gonna have a meeting, or do we?
I will let the town clerk know that we will not have a meeting in this way.
It's helpful to post it because if people are used to the regular meeting and plan to come, like David, for example, David and Tessa and so on, they ought to know that we're not gonna meet.
No one will be here, yeah.
Okay, was there any other things we need to go over?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous.